How do you see that just kind of affecting the dynamic?
They got better. I mean, they made the moves they wanted to make, and I'm sure they're going to make it work over here. It's fun for all the fans and the media to kind of see what's going on with the trade deadline, but for players, they're just trying to get through it and move on.
So there's no party that like enjoys that or following it?
I mean, you see guys like Isaiah being traded 2 times in a year, and you got to get up, guys got to get up and promote your family. That's what you see as a player. You got to just get up and go to another city, play for another organization, another team. That's the type of stuff I think about more so than it's fun that guys get traded. It's definitely a fun part of the year for the fans and everybody else, but for players, just kind of take for what it's worth and move on.
As someone who has front office or ownership division, do you enjoy tracking what's going on this time of year? Just thinking ahead a little bit.
Let me just stop the presses and stop playing games right now. We're 2 hours away from the NBA's trading deadline, and let me tell you what's been going on. Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and a protected first-round pick of the Cleveland Cavaliers have been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. Rodney Hood from the Utah Jazz has just been traded to Cleveland. I'm hearing, and I just called the news desk at ESPN, I got sources in South Beach that tell me Dwayne Wade is about to return to Miami. He's about to rejoin the Miami Heat. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, no contracts. See, it's days like today where you're happy to do the show in L.A., Cleveland, and various other markets throughout the United States of America, but you're depressed as a native New Yorker because there's absolutely nothing to talk about when it comes to the New York Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis is gone. You got idiot callers calling up, complaining about some dude named Hernan Gomez being traded as if we give 2 cents. And in New York, it doesn't matter. The basketball iconic town that this is, with Rutgers Park, West 4th Street, and everything in between, and damn it, they don't have a basketball team that's worth talking about. Los Angeles Lakers don't have that problem. Cleveland Cavaliers don't have that problem. Because if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, Isaiah Thomas is now gone. Channing Frye, so what? Nice guy. We wish him nothing but the best. And as he joked around on Twitter, when you go 0 for 6, they'll trade your ass. That's a quote from him. I'm not speaking in profanity over the airwaves. It's a quote. The bottom line is this. You're the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a simple question. Does the addition of Jordan Clarkson, does the addition of Larry Nance Jr., does the addition of Rodney Hood, does the addition of all those 3 dudes propel you to the NBA Finals? My answer would be yes. Does it give you a championship? My answer would be hell no. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Credit to Dan Gilbert for allowing it. Credit to Kobe Altman for making it happen. Credit to LeBron James for approving it. These are all good things for Cleveland. These are all good things. Ladies and gentlemen, Clarkson can play. He's not a scrub. He's not somebody that can't get it done. He can come off the bench for you. He can do some point guard, even though he doesn't have a point guard. He's not a point guard. He can play some point for you. He can clearly put the ball in the hole. He's athletic. He's not rife with a bunch of drama. He can get it done for you. If you are Larry Nance Jr., I got to admit to you, I'm very, very surprised that Magic Johnson approved letting him go. Now, clearly, you're Magic Johnson, you're maneuvering because Isaiah Thomas being let go. We got to remember, if he arrives with you with the Lakers, his numbers come off the books at the end of the season. Plus, you get a draft pick. So you got all of that going on. You can't ignore that. But I'm surprised that he let go of Larry Nance Jr. because Larry Nance Jr., he's youthful. His athleticism is unquestionable. And on top of all of that, no drama. He goes out there and he's committed to one thing and one thing only, and that is doing his job. That's it. That's all he cares about. And those are the kind of things that I think you have to pay attention to. Number to call up, as always, is 888-729-3776. That's 888-SAY-ESPN. Those are the things you got to pay attention to. That's just the way I'm looking at things right now. I feel very, very bad for Isaiah Thomas. He's traded yet again, and you sort of knew something was coming down the pipe because last night when LeBron James hit that game-winning shot, Isaiah Thomas went to hug him. LeBron James ran right by him. Not that he did it on purpose or anything like that, but it was just telling. I'll just leave it at that. Isaiah Thomas, I feel very, very bad for him because Lord knows how many times he's been traded over the last 5 years. Lord knows how many times. But what I will tell you is these moves make the Cavs better. It's undeniable. It really, really is. Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. to the Cavs, it's undeniably better than what you had. We can slice and dice it any way we want to. It's undeniable. And then I look at Rodney Hood, and this guy ends up going to Cleveland. And oh, by the way, Cleveland, it's a 3-team trade, of course, reported by our very own Adrian Wojnarowski. Cavaliers land Utah Jazz guard Rodney Hood and Joe Johnson, as well as Sacramento Kings guard George Hill. In return, the Cavs sent away Derrick Rose and Jay Crowder to Utah. I mean, if you thought Derrick Rose was depressed before, could you imagine how he's going to be now? Derrick Rose don't want to live in no damn Utah. That I can promise you. You don't want to live in no damn Utah. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the city of Utah. It's a fabulous, fabulous city. And I certainly don't mean to imply that. Very clean and nice and all wholesome looking and everything like that. But damn it, that ain't what Derrick Rose particularly wants to do. Then you have to take into consideration, if you're Utah, why would you do something like this? Because Derrick Rose is in the last year, his contract expires at the end of the season. You're Jay Crowder. You pick up a solid player in Jay Crowder who's only owed over $7 million over the next 2 seasons. If you're the Lakers, you got Channing Frye. Okay, he's in the last year of his deal at $7.4 million. You got Isaiah Thomas, who's at $6.2 million. That's $13 million that the Lakers just got off their cap. That's how you got to look at this. And I'm saying to you, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you didn't do the wrong thing. You didn't do the wrong thing. They're clearly making a move. All of this notion about the Lakers wanting to wait until 2019 to go after some dudes. Think again. You got Clarkson, who's at $12.5 million next season and $13.3 million the year after that. Those numbers are off the Lakers' books. 12.5 and then 13.4. And Larry Nance Jr. with $2.2 million and then $3.3 million. I know Magic Johnson probably didn't want to give away Larry Nance Jr., but if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you want that man on your squad. So if you're the Lakers, you're clearly setting the stage to make a splash in free agency this summer. You know what that tells me? The Lakers have been given indications. Somebody's coming to Hollywood. Somebody's coming to La La. Somebody's coming. Somebody's coming. Is it LeBron? Is it Paul George? Who the hell is it? I don't know. But in the summer of 2018, there is no way in hell Magic Johnson is making these moves, clearing cap space before this trading deadline expires for nothing. And it damn sure ain't to wait a year from July. Something's going on now. Oh, this is percolating, y'all. This is percolating. 888-729-3776 is the number to call up. That's 888-SAY-ESPN. That's Straight Talk Wireless nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. Again, Utah has traded away Rodney Hood The Cleveland Cavaliers in a 3-team deal have acquired Rodney Hood, Joe Johnson from Utah. That's a big-time pickup. Joe Johnson. That's a big-time pickup. So you got Joe Johnson. You got Rodney Hood. And you got a backup point guard in George Hill, or really a starting point guard. This is very interesting, y'all. This is very, very interesting. I must confess. 888-SAY ESPN is the number to call up. Oh, I got more. We just getting started. And by the way, I told y'all, I reported that Dwayne Wade, I'm told, is about to head on back to South Beach. Stick around. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Home Insurance. Get your quote at Progressive.com today. 888-729-3776 is the number to call up. That's 888-SAY ESPN. You want to know what's going on with these NBA trades? I called in the Dwayne Wade return to Miami. Adrian Wojnarowski confirmed that, and obviously he's got everything else because he always does, being as great as he is. Just looking at the timeline here, he talked about how the Lakers sent Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance to the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers sent Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye to the Lakers for Clarkson and Nance. The Cavaliers also sent this 2018 first-round pick in the deal to the Lakers. The teams were getting on a trade call, all right? Then he goes on. He said Memphis has traded James Ennis to Detroit for Bryce Johnson and a second-round pick. 3 impactful details on trade for the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers will have space for 2 max contracts in 2018 or 2019. Replenish first-round pick in 2018's NBA draft, and gets the Lakers some shooting for the rest of the season with Thomas and Frye. Clarkson and Nance Jr. are not shooters. Channing Frye is definitely a shooter, and Isaiah Thomas, when he gets healthy, can be a shooter. You combine that with what you're seeing from Kuzma, what you're seeing from Randall, what you're seeing from Lopez and the others. The Lakers clearly lacked some shooting, but they cleared some space. They positioned themselves to have enough money for 2 max contracts this summer. It's not about 2019. It's about 2019 if 2018 doesn't work out. But if 2018 has the potential to work out, the Los Angeles Lakers have enough money for 2 max contracts. We can't say that about the New York Knicks, can we? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that just ticks me off. I just can't stand it. Everybody's around to do something but the New York Knicks. Why, James Dolan? Why? Why? Never you. We got a Super Bowl parade going on in Philadelphia. We got maneuvers being made everywhere from Cleveland to L.A. We got the Patriots going to the Super Bowl in Boston. The Celtics are the number 1 seed in Boston with a guard in Kyrie Irving that you had a chance of getting. And if you didn't have a chance to get him, you had a chance to get Eric Bledsoe. Why, James Dolan? Why? Why? Oh, Lord. Oh, God. These damn Knicks. And for those of you sprouted around the rest of the country, understand that I'm a diehard New Yorker. I love my Knicks, but Jesus, it's just depressing to see all of this action. I mean, Utah is in the mix. Utah! I mean, if it wasn't for Karl Malone and John Stockton, the only thing we would know about Utah is that it's snow there and the mountains are pretty. It's a Mormon state. That's about it. We wouldn't know anything else about Utah, and even they're in the mix. The Sacramento Kings getting Joe Johnson from Utah. He wasn't in Cleveland, went to Sacramento. They're in the mix. But not the New York Knicks. Oh, no, James Dolan. No, not your team. And I say James Dolan because Steve Mills and Scott Perry just got started. I'm not holding them accountable. But it's you, James Dolan. It's you. Like a damn virus when it comes to this franchise. Everything you touch turns to mush. I mean, damn it. 888-729-3776. That's 888-SAY-ESPN. Also, Cleveland sent Amon Shumpert, a former New York Knick. They sent him to Sacramento in a deal, too. Utah sent Joe Johnson. Cleveland sent Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose to Utah. If you thought Derrick Rose was depressed before, Lord have mercy. I don't know how you're going to feel now. Cleveland also acquired Rodney Hood from Utah and George Hill from Sacramento. So Cleveland basically has 4 new players. They got Clarkson, they got Larry Nance Jr., they got Rodney Hood, they got George Hill. D. Wade's gone, so his relationship with LeBron James is no longer a distraction to the rest of the team that LeBron just shoved aside because he loved his boy D. Wade so much. Now they can get back to the business of basketball for this stretch run. Let's see how everything unfolds. 888-SAY-ESPN, that's 888-729-3776. Andrew in L.A., you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Stephen A., how's it going, my brother?
Yeah, I'm all right. Go ahead.
I mean, we got a good day, Stephen A. There's trades. I know the Knicks. But we got a good day. You got work, Stephen A. Trades going down. I'm downtown L.A. Magic's delivering. Rob's delivering. They said they was going to clear cap space. I'm sad to see Larry Nance go. Sad to see Clarkson go. But we got that cap space cleared up. And like you said, Magic doesn't pull this move without some assurances on the side. You know what I'm saying, Stephen A.? So it's a good day. It's more of an excuse for you to come out to La La Land, Stephen A. So
hold on, wait a minute. I'm out there a lot, and I'll be out there all next week. Don't you worry about me in L.A. I'm out in L.A. all the time. Half the time I'm there, I don't even tell y'all. I'm right in town. You see what I'm saying? Because I got to lay low. Because my celebrity is elevating, is heightening, and all of that other stuff. But I'm not a Hollywood kind of guy. I'm an L.A. kind of guy. Just like I'm a New York kind of guy. But I ain't for the celebrity and stuff. You see what I'm saying? I'm about the work.
If you in Manhattan Beach, then, Stephen A., the drinks are on me next time, Stephen A.
Well, I appreciate that, but you're going to have to come to L.A. I don't need to go all the way out to Manhattan Beach to have a good time in L.A. Palm trees and the sunshine are everywhere. I do love L.A., I must admit that. It is special. Very, very special. But I'm a native New Yorker, heart and soul, bro. Even when the weather stinks because it's freezing, I still love New York. It's up to me. It's up to me. Let's go to Iz in New Jersey. You're live with Stephen A. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Stephen A?
Talk to me.
The show every day, man. You're the man.
Thank you, man. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I think it's amazing that all these moves for the Cavs, like, yeah, it makes them better, but it's also about, like you said, fixing that locker room culture. I was watching the game yesterday, and before, like you said, after LeBron hit the shot, Isaiah couldn't even get a hug, and it looked like it was just, by chance. But if you look at a couple plays before, when LeBron made, I forgot, it was a layup off the baseline, Isaiah's there with his arms in the air trying to call for the ball, and he's, like, kicking and screaming because nobody's throwing him the ball. So it's like that you could see how he had just, like, the whole team was ready to get rid of him, just ready to let go,
Well, he didn't have it. He didn't have it, man, because, he's got to recover from that hip injury. Let's not disrespect Isaiah Thomas. We know the brother can play. It's not like he can't play. When he's healthy, he's a miniature dynamo. But, you can't overcome 5'9", but so much, at least not on the defensive end of the floor. And that's just the reality of the situation. There's no way around that.
No, of course. I didn't mean about his game. I just meant in terms of his I just feel like he wasn't meshing with that locker room. He was just, I felt maybe toxic for the locker room. His personality didn't mesh or something. It's not even about him. It's just he didn't fit in there. But, yeah, man, I appreciate you taking my call. Just one more thing. Go Johnnies.
All right, my man. Yeah, listen. Did you talk about St. John's? The St. John's
Yes,
Storm,
sir.
Red Storm? Let me tell you something right now. I don't like their overall record, but I do like the fact that I watched Chris Mullin's team beat Duke, and then I watched them beat Villanova. I like that. I
I know you did.
I do. I like that. I'm keeping my eyes on the Red Storm. I'm keeping my eyes on them. Appreciate the call, man. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's the number to call. NBA trading deadline. Almost an hour and a half till its expiration. More to come. Stick around. Don't touch that dial.
Guess what?
You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it! Welcome back to Stephen A. Smith Show right here on ESPN Radio. We are focused on the NBA trading deadline, which is 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds away from its expiration. The 3 p.m. deadline today for the NBA trading deadline. Already moves have been made. I'll get into that for a second. On a football note, outside of the parade in Philadelphia, where millions are expected to show up in downtown, and it looks like millions are there celebrating the Philadelphia Eagles. Breaking news, Jimmy Garoppolo, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, formerly of the New England Patriots, has agreed to a 5-year, $137.5 million contract with the San Francisco 49ers. This is Jimmy Garoppolo, who is undefeated as a starting quarterback, 7-0 as a starter. In his career, he has started 7 games. He has played in a grand total of 23 games. And he just signed for 5 years, $137.5 million. Okay. What I will tell you is that on average, it's the largest quarterback and it's the largest contract in the NFL. It's the largest contract in the NFL. What I do like about this is that he did go to San Francisco. They did get an opportunity to see him perform for them. And they clearly believe in him. So I got to give credit where credit is due in that regard. And the fact that he's got this money. You know what's sickening about this, though? And I'm looking at my producer, Jonathan Winthrop. You know what's sickening about this? He's actually getting paid more than Tom Brady. So you have been a protege under Tom Brady. And in 7 starts, you've gotten more money than Tom Brady. That's unreal. Something's wrong with that picture, but it's the market that we're living in. It's the way of the world right now. It is what it is. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Just to get back to the trades that have taken place today, the big news is the Cleveland Cavaliers and what's going on with them right now. And all you need to know is this. The Cleveland Cavaliers have gotten rid of 6 players. Isaiah Thomas is a Laker. Channing Frye is a Laker. Iman Shumpert is with the Sacramento Kings. Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose are with the Utah Jazz. And Dwayne Wade is back in Miami. And as a side note, and in return, the Cleveland Cavaliers got Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Clarkson, George Hill, and Rodney Hood. George Hill came from Sacramento. Rodney Hood came from Utah. Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. obviously came from the Los Angeles Lakers. On a side note, just as an aside, Dwayne Wade obviously didn't have the greatest relationship in the end with Pat Riley. From my understanding, they saw one another at the funeral of Mr. Hank Thomas. He represented Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and various other players in the NBA. He passed away last week from an illness. His funeral was Friday. I was stuck at Super Bowl week, so I was unable to attend that funeral. But he was a wonderful, wonderful man, a good person, a fantastic agent. Who represented guys very, very well. I joked on numerous occasions that Chris Bosh should have cooked Thanksgiving dinner for him and went Christmas shopping for him and all of that stuff, because when the Miami Heat, all they could offer was $88 million. I'm sorry, when all that anybody else could offer Chris Bosh, $88 million, meaning the Houston Rockets specifically. Hank Thomas went back and got $118 million from Pat Riley, Mickey Harrison, and the Miami Heat. $118 million for a guy that couldn't get more than $88 million from anywhere else. $30 million extra Hank Thomas got for Chris Bosh. Those $100 million contracts Dwayne Wade signed for, Hank Thomas negotiated those deals. He wasn't just an agent, but he was the big brother and father figure to a lot of guys. I knew him personally. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. Absolutely, positively wonderful. My heart goes out to his lovely wife and his family, and to the NBA agent community. Believe it or not, even though these guys get your money and all of that other stuff, there's a lot of these guys that are really, really good guys that actually genuinely care about the players that they represent. A lot of them do. And they deserve to be credit for that. Anytime you hear about an agent, you're ready to excoriate them and say they're scums of the earth and all of that other stuff. That certainly is not the case with most of them. And it most definitely was not the case with Hank Thomas. was a wonderful agent. He was a wonderful man to all and everyone who knew him. And he's going to be incredibly, incredibly missed. And my heart goes out to his family, and my heart goes out to D-Wade, because D-Wade loved that man. He's a good man, and we're going to miss him. 888, say ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. More of the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio, with 1 hour and 19 minutes remaining for the NBA trading deadline. This is where it's at. This is the spot. Don't touch that dial. Stick around. It's Stephen A. on ESPN Radio.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it! Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, in the house with you right before the NBA trading deadline has expired. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers, clearing enough cap space to make sure they've got enough space for 2 max contracts, not just one. In both 2018 and 2019, we'll see what they do with it. The Cleveland Cavaliers, with the acquisition of Rodney Hood, with the acquisition of Jordan Clarkson, with the acquisition of Larry Nance Jr., okay, with the acquisition of George Hill, ultimately has, as far as I'm concerned, they've done enough to get back to the NBA Finals. Not to win it, but to get back to the NBA Finals. Seems like Dan Gilbert ain't going to let LeBron James have the excuse of a dysfunctional franchise. He's going to say, hey, you got enough pieces, figure it out, get it done. So that's something else to take into consideration. Hour number 2, at the start of hour number 2, Caron Butler, former NBA player, recently announced his retirement. Really good guy, tough as nails. Used to play for the Washington Wizards, by the way, as well, before Gilbert Arenas ruined that franchise, at least for a little while. Caron Butler will be on the show with us to talk about himself and to talk about these NBA trades that have taken place, and, of course, the Love Doctor. We'll be paying y'all a visit. Obviously sponsored 1-800-FLOWERS. Valentine's Day approaching. You got folks in the world of sports with love on their mind. They reaching out to the Love Doctor. You know, the segment I stole from Martin Lawrence when he did that Love Doctor segment on the show, Martin, which was hilarious. Now get on out of here. I'm the Love Doctor. It's a lot of fun. But people call up for advice. I ain't talking about myself. Don't look for me to practice what I preach to you. None of your business what I do. But don't mean I can't give damn good advice. I'm going to be on the Steve Harvey show tomorrow morning. I used to do the Strawberry Letters with Steve Harvey. Damn it, he wrote a best-selling book. Some of it was based off the advice I gave. I'm only playing. Steve Harvey's forgotten more than I know, as evidenced by his lovely wife, Marjorie. The man has good taste. Let's just say that. 888, say ESPN. Let's get back to the calls before Caron Butler and then the Love Doctor comes on in hour number 2. Let's go to Eddie in Georgia. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, Stephen A.? Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
I got a question for you. About the trade to the Lakers with Isaiah Thomas. What does this mean for Lonzo Ball? The Lakers plan to possibly keep Isaiah Thomas after this year, or what's going on with that? We know.
No, what happens is you want to improve the shooting because the Achilles heel is that the Lakers is arguably the worst three-point shooting team in the league. So that was problematic for them, and they wanted to clear cap space. And not only that, they picked up a first-round pick from Cleveland. Cleveland's first-round pick, not the one they got from Brooklyn, but the other one that's going to be like the 28th, 29th pick in the draft. That's what the Lakers ultimately have. So you're going to look at Isaiah Thomas, get some minutes and playing and what have you. You're not worried. You got to remember, Isaiah Thomas can fill in some of those minutes that Jordan Clarkson was getting. But in the end, the person who suffers the most is Isaiah Thomas. I mean, this is the guy that averaged 28.9 last year, was looking for his $200 million payday. And what happened? He ultimately gets hurt. He has to miss the Eastern Conference Finals, pretty much all of it. Then he comes back this year, and before he even came back, he got traded from Boston. Then he's in Cleveland, but he can't play the first 2 to 3 months of the season, first 2.5 months of the season. And then once he's come back, he's not 100% healthy and clearly trying to fit in. And it's such a defensive liability that Cleveland ultimately moves him. And now he's in L.A. with virtually no shot of getting the money that he covets. And this is a guy that's been underappreciated throughout his career. We should actually feel very, very sorry for Isaiah Thomas, because if there's anybody that's gotten screwed over since last June, it's been Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, and he gave it all for Boston last year. He really did.
He gave it all. But he got hurt. It's a business. He wasn't 100% healthy. And let's face it, you didn't think that he was better than Kyrie when Isaiah Thomas was healthy. So imagine what you're thinking now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was a good deal then for Boston.
Yeah. There you go. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Let's go to Ray in Brooklyn. You're live with Stephen A. Go ahead, Ray.
Stephen A. Smith, as always, man, it's an honor to chop up sports with an elite such as yourself, brother.
Thank you. Go ahead, my man. Thank you.
Stephen A. Smith, real quick, as far as the Knicks is concerned, you can't really just leave off that Hernan Gomez trade like that and not do nothing else. I almost think like you have to do something else, especially after getting nothing back in return for him.
I'm not saying that they don't have to do something else. I'm simply asking you, what can they do? Kristaps Porzingis is down, and even if he was up and playing, you ain't moving him. So what you gonna do? What do you have if you're the New York Knicks that anybody wants?
Well, I mean, you got to get rid of Q. Q is not a horrible player. You could get rid of Lee. He's not horrible. Try to pick up some draft. Me, personally, I wouldn't mind seeing some assets try to come in, something at least. But my thing as far as Cleveland, even if this is LeBron James last year, right? So let's just say hypothetically speaking, even if you feel anytime you have LeBron James on your team, you still stack the deck. You bring in what you could bring in because you never know. That may be the last chance at a title. And anytime you have LeBron James on your team, you always have a shot at a title. I don't care if it's his last season.
That's
you
fair.
Still give the man what he's want. You give him what he wants, get that title, and keep it moving.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't disagree with that, Ray. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Adrian in Dix Hills, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, Stephen A. I just wanted to congrats the Cavs on doing some great pickups, obviously making some masterful
I think they
moves,
did. I think Kobe Altman and Dan Gilbert did a good job here, and LeBron James, because he had to approve it to some degree. I think he did a good job here. I think they did a good job.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. On the flip side, though, I wouldn't be so quick to necessarily congratulate the Lakers on doing such a great job. Granted, they did give up all this cap space, but my big question is, who are these big names they're signing? I mean, if you're looking at the free agent pool, I'm not convinced LeBron is leaving Cleveland and coming out.
Well, again, we don't know the answer to that question, but here's why it's compelling. Because they have room for two. So because they have room for two, you never know when stars want to package themselves as a couple to join your franchise. And that's what makes it compelling. The fact, if they just had enough money for one max contract, which they already did, it's not that big of a deal. It's the fact that they have it enough for two. And you talk about the Lakers, man, you talk about Lala. You know how many brothers want to live in California? I mean, LeBron's got a house out there in the off-season now. That's not an accident.
I agree, but I don't see Paul George leaving OKC either. He's almost, all but committed there. I mean, you're looking at, the free agents there. I'd be interested to see who they could pair, whether DeMarcus Cousins or who have you. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm more so skeptical as far as giving up all this cap space and not knowing who you're going to bring in there.
Listen, you got to have cap space, and you got to have cap space to be in the game. You can't win the game, you can't play it. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I don't have any problem with what Magic Johnson did. You improved your three-point shooting. You got rid of some contracts you wanted to get rid of. You didn't want to get rid of Larry Nance, obviously, but at the same time, Brandon Ingram is showing up. Kuzma is special. Randall is producing off the bench. If you could get anything from Lonzo Ball, it's all a plus. So that's just the way I look at it. 888, say ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Hour number 2 up next. Karan Butler, the love doctor, of course. And back to your calls about this NBA trading deadline, which ends at 3 p.m. today Eastern Time. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.